And welcome back to Beyond the Politics. I'm Paul Martin. Joining me, as always, my co-host Colin Mackay. And our very first guest for the program, thank you, Mr. Mayor, is Belleville Mayor Mitch Panchuk.
Great again to be with you guys. It's been a lot of fun.
So we just finished an in-depth conversation about everything that COVID means to the community. So in the public forum section, we try to make it a little bit more lighthearted than that, and we'll touch on as many subjects as we can during the time. It's also a chance for you to get your input, or during the week, you can send something in at YourTV Quinte. So it's 2-year anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you. Last week, yeah.
I saw the post on that. So how does it feel now, 2 years in? You've obviously had a lot to deal with, but this council has accomplished quite a lot.
Yeah, well, I think personally, I had no idea what the job really entailed in terms of the extra, the pace, the schedule, the number of things that come, particularly prior to COVID hitting. It's very busy. A lot of people seek the mayor, for input. They get invited to everything. And it took some adjustment, and it took a while for that adjustment. But I'm lucky. We have a really great council. Everybody's different. Everyone has different interests, different passions, and we have accomplished a great amount. You can go through the list of the $1 million for Hospice Quinte, the $300,000 we've contributed to a new humane society that's desperately needed. Knocking down the cabaret building, buying it, fixing, swapping land so we could have one big site, so that as we do the Market Square renovations in the future, or the revitalization, will include stuff along the Riverfront Trail. The road work that we're doing, including Bell Boulevard. These are all projects that were around for a while. In the midst of it, we're managing our way through a pandemic, and we were able to provide a negative tax increase in this year's budget, which was unheard of, and that's because of working with our staff. So we've had a lot of stuff going on. Sometimes when you move as quickly as you can, there's a little bit of a shimmy, and we've had some bumps as well as a group. And that's just because we all feel strongly about our different positions, and we're working well. 99% of the time, we are unanimous in our decisions. Unfortunately, the media likes to point out the couple times that we have some differences, but that's good. Again, it's healthy.
It seems to me that you've moved on and passed from that.
We move on everything, Colin, but the reality is that it's to be expected. When you're moving as quickly as we are, when you're dealing with as many different things as you have, there are going to be some people whose egos get bruised because they don't get their way, or they didn't get what they wanted, or they didn't feel it was done in the way that they would have liked. But that's what comes with it. A lot of times we all don't get a choice of how we deal with things. We never wanted COVID, but we're stuck with it, and we're dealing with it. We've had to adjust our meetings and our committees and how it's been going on.
But it's okay if people disagree.
Absolutely, and I encourage it, and I think that's what people are seeing, a little bit more of it. But at the end of the day, we have accomplished a lot. I said at the Ag Society announcement that it was a bold move by our council to finally make this deal, and they deserve a lot of credit for having imagination and working well.
That's a feather in the council's cap for sure. 2
years after the fact, I'm amazed at how much we've been able to do, and we have so much more still to do, and so we will not slow down as we move forward. We have a lot of work still to accomplish, a lot of projects still to accomplish, and a lot of new things. The relocation of the Ag Society opens up all kinds of possibilities. We're still working on improving the quality of life for residents, particularly as they do outdoor activities. The Hillcrest school that we purchased is going to allow us now to do a lot more things there than just the lawn bowling club. We'll be going through a process of potentially having, pickleball courts there, and tennis courts, and outdoor events, perhaps a seniors recreation center for that whole area.
Are you going to expand the trails at all? Are you doing anything down there? Is that something that you're looking at?
Yeah, especially, COVID has shown us that people really love our community, love our environment, and they use it. And so I think it justifies the fact that we do expansion. So, the Bayshore Trail can go both east and west. And I think you'll see in this year's budget for 2021 moving that along. We also want to have more playgrounds and more parks and plant more trees and
you did the East Hill playgrounds, new one.
So I think you'll see a renewed focus on that for the city, perhaps with a parks planner. But all these things take time. And take a focus on a part of council, and we are we have.
That's one of the things Belleville's known for, the trails.
Yeah,
come for a walk. That's one of the things you can do reasonably safely.
Right. So, well, we want to do more, and we want to get across the 401 to include all of Belleville in our trail system.
So we're talking Thurlow area.
Absolutely, and so viewers may know that the province is looking at expanding the 401 from the current 4 lanes to 6 lanes. So the first thing they have to do is make the bridges wider.
I was just gonna say,
and
how
when
do
they
you get over
do
the bridges?
and when they do the bridges, they will actually have active transportation links to get across safely, because right now it is not safe.
I know it's not your purview, but wouldn't it be nice to have a school in that area? Because it's just expanding like crazy.
For sure. And, and I said, it's not in our area, but one thing that is in our area is where the fairgrounds is going to be, there is a trail system, an abandoned rail line that we can look at incorporating into our trail system. And so wouldn't that be wonderful if we have that whole idea I spoke about 2 years ago, a 25 to 30 kilometer circuit around the city, where you can ride and get on and get off at different stages, depending on what distance you want to travel. If you go down the Bell Boulevard expansion on the west side, the active transportation trail is beautiful. We are now completing the Mahar Trail, the bike trail from Mahar Place to Loyalist College. And we contributed $100,000 to Loyalist for them to build a bridge to get across the creek. So we'll now connect Loyalist to the city with a bike path or transportation path. All that is great.
Would love that.
Yeah, and we've also, for the first time in Belleville's situation, we'll have those emergency telephones along that path tied into the Loyalist security system, so that if people through that isolated stretch do find some need to phone for emergency services, they can grab that telephone very easily and keep our people safe.
Quick hit, the dog park that you were talking about right at the corner of Farnham and Maitland.
Yeah, so I think in this year's capital budget for 2021, you will see council will consider a proposal to convert the piece of property right beside the traffic circle into an off-leash dog park, similar to what we have down by the bay. Residents in Thurlow deserve services as well, and that's something that I've been committed to. So I'm working with Councillor Carr and Councillor Sandison, who are the reps in Thurlow.
Talk to Jim Moore about the Parr Dog Park.
Yeah,
the guy
absolutely.
knows. He's helpful.
Yeah, this year COVID also, one of the casualties was the dog park that we have now was serviced by volunteers. And with COVID, they weren't able to do it. So the city has assumed the repairs, the maintenance, the operations of that dog park. And so it makes it a little easier for us to have a second one now this year, so that we're going to be doing both. But for those folks that in the past have done such a terrific job, we thank them. But this year it just became a little bit too difficult for them to control, and we'll do that.
So basically, I'm hearing a lot towards Ward 2. You're sort of moving. I mean,
I think
it's a balance.
Yeah, I think Ward 2 has felt neglected in the past, and so we're certainly not forgetting about them. We're trying to look at what's good for the whole city.
This is starting to develop, though.
But I'll tell you, you're right, Colin. The housing developments are significant there, and we need to make sure that the services keep up with it. So,
yeah,
transit will be something that I think 2021 will be a big year for us.
Now, didn't they try a bus out there already?
We did in 2015. And so it's been a while ago. So we've got to bring it back in. But both Councillors Sandison and Carr are committed to bringing some type of service. Moving the Ag Society up there makes a necessity for the city to have transportation to bring people out to their events. Again, we're.
And your long-term vision is a nice trail.
Absolutely.
Out there.
Yeah.
Good.
One more quick hit. So they're now into the new police station. What was it like to finalize that process?
Well, it was 1,000 items that came there. I have to give credit to Joel Carbrandt, the city project manager, that really worked with Acting Chief Callahan. The two of them were really involved. They did a great job. I had a tour as a member. I had a number of tours. I saw the progress. It was incredible to see how the station came along. But City Council had a tour there a couple weeks ago. Before they fully moved in, but on the 14th, 15th, and 16th of October, they completed the move. The most difficult or the most touchy issue was the communications, the 911 center and the emergency dispatch area, and that went flawlessly. They did a great job with their planning.
Because you'd have to keep it running while you're moving it.
We had to have two for a while, Colin,
I'm sorry, I have to cut in because we're just about to run out of time. I'm sure we could go on for another hour, but we have 10 seconds left. Plans upcoming 2 years, running again 2022?
Well, it's too early to tell. We'll see how my health is. We'll see how things go. We'll see if my wife will let me. We'll have to see all those issues.
Thank you again, Belleville Mayor Mitch Panchuk. I have been Paul Martin with Colin Mackay, and this has been our very first edition of Beyond the Politics. Thanks for watching.